In the recent stock market downturn, where retail investors and traders are selling their stocks and losing money, big investors like Warren Buffett and Ray Dalio are buying stocks heavily. In this video, you will see what smart money are buying and the details about their stocks. Here are 5 stocks that billionaires such as Carl Ichan, Daniel Loeb, Jim Simons, Ray Dalio and Warren Buffett parking their money at. Stock number 1. Medtronic, ticker symbol MDT. You all have heard about Ray Dalio. Raymond Thomas Dalio is an American billionaire investor and hedge fund manager. He is the founder of the world's largest hedge fund, Bridgewater Associates. It has an asset under management of $235 billion. Bridgewater Associates consists of around 992 stocks in their portfolio. In the latest 13F file, the company's biggest new buy over the last quarter was shares of medical device specialist, Medtronic. Bridgewater spent more than $200 million on shares, making it the 18th largest holding for the company. Medtronic is one of the largest medical device companies. Medtronic develops and manufactures therapeutic medical devices for chronic diseases. Medtronic makes pacemakers, defibrillators, heart valves, insulin pumps, and surgical tools. Now let's talk about geographic location. 52% of the company revenue comes from the US and 48% comes from rest of the countries. Stock number 2, Advanced Micro Devices, ticker symbol AMD. Jim Simons is the owner of Renaissance Technologies. Asset under management is around $165 billion. This quant-based hedge fund has more than 4,000 stocks in its portfolio. One of Renaissance Technologies' new buys in its last quarter was Advanced Micro Devices, which makes the 7th largest stock in their portfolio. If you love to play video games, there is a pretty good chance that you are using AMD-designed microprocessors. The majority of the firm's sales are in the personal computer and data center markets via CPUs and GPUs. Additionally, the firm supplies the chips found in prominent game consoles such as the Sony PlayStation and Microsoft Xbox. AMD has a market cap of $136 billion. Last year, their top line was around $16.43 billion and net income was $3.16 billion, which makes their profit margin 18%. If you are looking for dividend income, you might not want to invest in this company because AMD doesn't pay a dividend. The price-to-earning ratio of this company is 31.25 and the price-to-book ratio is 2.11. This company has very good financials. AMD's revenue increased 244% from 2019 to 2022 and its net income increased more than 900% in the last 2 years. Stock number 3, CSX, Transportation, ticker symbol CSX. Daniel Loeb is an American investor, hedge fund manager, and philanthropist. He is the founder and chief executive officer of Third Point, a New York-based hedge fund focused on event-driven investing with $17.3 billion in assets under management as of June 2021. In the last reported quarter, the biggest new addition to Third Point Capital's holdings was $250,000 worth of shares in railroad operator namely CSX. CSX Transportation, known colloquially as simply CSX, is a Class I freight railroad operating in the eastern United States and the Canadian provinces of Ontario and Quebec. The railroad operates approximately 21,000 route miles or 34,000 kilometers of track. The company generated revenue of $12.5 billion in 2021. CSX hauls shipments of coal, which is 13% of consolidated revenue. Chemicals, 22%, intermodal containers, 16%, automotive cargo, 9%, and a diverse mix of other bulk and industrial merchandise. Now let's talk about some finances. CSX's market cap is $63.29 billion. They have a profit margin of 30%. Their dividend yield is only 1.38%. The company has a price-to-earning ratio of 16.46 and a price-to-book ratio of 4.81. The stock has been a solid performer. First quarter revenue was up 21% year over year. The company has total equity of $13.5 billion and total debt of $16.84 billion, which makes its debt-to-equity ratio of 1.25. Stock number 4, International Flavors and Fragrances, ticker symbol IFF. Carl Ichan is also an activist investor and a more well-known one. The name of his hedge fund is Ichan Capital. In the last reported quarter for his holdings, the only new position was in International Flavors and Fragrances, in which he invested $84.6 million. International Flavors and Fragrances is the largest specialty ingredients producer globally. The company sells ingredients for the food, beverage, health, household goods, personal care, and pharmaceutical industries. The Nourish segment, which generates roughly half of the revenue, is a leading flavor producer and also sell texturants, plant-based proteins, and other ingredients. The Health and Biosciences business, which generates around 1/4 of revenue, is a global leader in probiotics and enzymes. IFF is also one of the leading fragrance producers in the world. IFF has a market cap of $29 billion. Its first quarter featured revenue up 31% over year-ago levels, thanks in part to its merger with the nutrition and biosciences business of DuPont. The company has a dividend yield of 2.80% and a debt-to-equity ratio of 0.56. Their revenue increased 226% from 2019 to 2021, but their net income decreased 58% in the same timeline. Stock number 5, Chevron, ticker symbol CVX. Warren Buffett, considered by many to be the world's greatest investor, has grown the value of his company, Berkshire Hathaway, by an annual average of around 20% over 56 years. According to its latest 13F filing, Berkshire increased its stake in oil giant Chevron by 316% in the last quarter, more than quadrupling it. Berkshire now owns a little more than 8% of Chevron. Chevron is an integrated energy company with exploration, production, and refining operations worldwide. It is the second largest oil company in the United States with a production of 3.1 million barrels of oil equivalent a day and 7.7 million cubic feet a day of natural gas. Many oil companies have been doing very well lately because of the high oil prices recently. Chevron has a market cap of $318 billion. Chevron made a revenue of $155 billion in 2021 and its net income was $15.63 billion, which makes the profit margin around 10%. The debt-to-equity ratio is 0.2, which is considered to be good. The total assets of Chevron in 2021 were $239 billion and total liabilities of $99.60 billion. It's not smart to just copy what big investors are buying, because many hedge fund investors use a long-short strategy. It means they buy a stock and at the same time to minimize its risk they short another stock, but it can be profitable to look at their purchases for promising investment ideas. 13F report gives an idea of where big investors are parking their money. That's all for today. If you like this video or want to see more video like this, comment below.